Hello, you're about to watch a recording of a live webinar we hosted on May 24th, 2018. This webinar was all about commission management changes that we've done to the system recently. The topics covered were all of our new commission management tools like overriding and prorating of sales volume, team commission plans, prorated agent deductions, minimum and maximum deductions inside of commission plans, sliding scales based on acceptance date and month to date, and commission statements and the ability to save them to the unsorted documents section. This was hosted by Frisco Doyle and Taylor Reef. We hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching.
Good morning and good afternoon to all of our Brokermint clients, as well as those that have not joined our community yet, but are kind of thinking about it. So my name is Frisco, and I'm one of the implementation specialists here at Brokermint, and I will be the moderator for this webinar. Today, we're going to be going over our commission management. We will be assisted by the great Taylor Reef, who is going to actually be physically demonstrating everything into the system for you guys.
Hello, everybody.
All right, so today we're going to be covering our new commission management tools. We're going to be going over overriding sales volume, prorating them, our team commission plans, prorated agent deductions, our min-max for deductions, our sliding scale, changing them based on acceptance date or month to date now, and also saving our commission statement to unsorted in our documents. So regardless of what plan you guys are currently on, all of these things, all of these updates that we're going to show you today are available across all three plans. So we're not going to be showing you anything that you can't already be able to do. If for any reason you've got a question about something, or if you want us to go a little bit more in depth into it, please, by all means, chat any of your questions right into the chat. We will be answering them as we go through the webinar, so you get a live answer. We'll be demonstrating, exactly how to go about it once we answer your question. If for any reason after the training you still have questions, we'll be sticking around for a little while. And if you have anything past that, you could always use our support site.
All right.
So to access our support site, you'll just click the little need help button in the bottom of your Brokermint account. You can use our online chat to chat directly with us. You could also go view some of our video guides. Once this recording goes up, we will be putting it in our knowledge base, so you could always go back and look at that as well. And if you have anything that you didn't get to see, or if you've got any recommendations of stuff we could add to the system, you could access our feedback portal. From there, you can drop an idea of stuff you'd like to see or updates you'd like to have happen. Anyone in the community can upvote those ideas, and the more upvotes an idea has, the easier it is for us to go to our developers and kind of get them put into the system. And kind of so you understand, a lot of these updates we're showing you today are based off recommendations that we got from you guys in the community. So without further ado, I'll hand everything back over to Mr. Taylor so he can get started on it.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us here. Once again, my name's Taylor, so I'll be rolling through this here with you guys. A lot of you may have actually worked with me before. I see some names that I recognize in the list there, so special shout out to all my clients there. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our demonstration now. And the first thing that we're going to be going over is the prorated sales volume. We heard everyone talking about how excited they were about it, so we're extremely excited to release this change. One thing that's constant at Brokermint is we're always trying to pursue better ways of running your real estate business and achieving that enhanced efficiency, accuracy, and reporting. So with all of these updates we're going to go over today, you're going to be able to improve how you manage your commission splits. But we're going to start off with the sales volume because honestly, it was just one of the more requested things that we've ever had at Brokermint. So what prorated sales volume means is, it's part of tracking sales volume. It's a very important piece. And when you have a team or you have multiple agents on the same deal, oftentimes you want the ability to split that sales volume or to assign credit to one agent only. With the new sales volume function, you're going to be able to override the normal sales volume of everyone getting 100%. Using award allocations, and you'll be able to give the option to prorate sales volume across all of your agents either automatically, or you can manually do it if you have a specific way that you want things to happen. This tool, it's invaluable to brokers and agents. It's going to enable more accurate reports, and it's just a really, really cool feature. So what actually happens? So right now we have one agent on a listing. So they're receiving 100% of the sales volume, $100,000 in this case. Now, if we add on a second agent, let's say I'm working with Evan here. We can split up the award allocation as need be, 50-50, or maybe Taylor did a little bit more work, so it's 60-40. But what's new is you now have these automatically changing what percentage of the sales volume this agent is going to get credit for on their agent report. So if I hit save right now, Taylor would be getting credit for $60,000 of sales volume, while Evan would be getting credit for $40,000 of sales volume. These numbers change automatically. So if we go 50-50, now it's switching to Taylor getting 50% of sales volume credit and Evan getting 50% of sales volume credit. Now, we also understand that every brokerage is different. So not everyone's going to want it split up this way. So maybe you guys have some sort of rule where even when two agents are on the deal, there's one agent who gets all the sales volume credit. That's totally fine. All you have to do is switch the sales volume from auto-calculated to manual, and then you can give them whatever credit you want. So if Taylor's supposed, even though they're splitting it 50-50, if Taylor's supposed to be getting $100,000 and Evan's supposed to be staying at 0, that works too. You'll now hit save, and those agents will then get the sales volume that you manually entered in. If you need to change that ever, all you have to do is click on the transaction, hit award allocation, and you can update this to either go back to the auto-calculated numbers, or you can enter in some new manual numbers in here. So we know that this is a big change. A lot of people requested it, so we're very excited to release it. Before I move on from this one piece, do we have any questions on how to update the sales volume for an agent?
Looks like we're all clear on the home front for now. Oh, I just see one popped in.
Yeah.
How do you see this in reports?
Great question. So to see this in reports, all you'll need to do is go to your normal reports section. You will see this on your agent report. So if I go into, for example, Taylor Reef's deals here. Let's just see, all lead sources, closing, any closing dates. Here it is, the 1, 2, 3 commission down here. 1, 2, 3 commission, and I'm getting $50,000 of sales volume credit because I left it at that 50-50 split.
So, Taylor, does this mean you don't have to do a transaction for each agent anymore?
Correct. Yeah, if that's the way that you were doing it, if you guys were creating a separate transaction for each agent to get them the correct sales volume, that's now going to be happening automatically. And then I also see 2 questions in the Q&A section coming in from Jurgen. Will the percentages show up in reporting? The answer is yes to that. What about units? Units aren't something that we have in any of our standard reports, so that doesn't really apply to our reports. But if you guys, if you have any custom reports or something like that that are having units in them, it won't affect your custom reports. And to that third question, Jurgen, will it show 0.5 units? Once again, we don't show units in any of our standard reports, so it wouldn't apply. We just do sales volume credits. Can you give a volume for 0 for all? Sure, you could type in $0 on that manual number. Yeah. I'm sorry, I zoomed in a little bit here. Sorry, I had to back out of something here. But yeah, you could definitely type in 0 for both agents, and it would allow you to give them both 0 credit. Sorry, I'm trying to get back here. And of course, because we're live, it's all of a sudden giving me a little issue there. There we go. But yeah, the way that would look is you would just change this to enter in manually, and you could literally type in 0 and 0, hit save. Now nobody's getting any sales volume at all. Doesn't it for agent reports? No, we don't have, so if we go back into our report section and go into our agent report, you have transactions, if that's what you're referring to. It doesn't have transactions. It just has the sales volume. And once again, in case anyone didn't see that, Jurgen was asking about the units again. Doesn't it track units for the agent report? We don't go by unit number, but we do have a part that shows you how many transactions they're involved in. And so since they're still involved in the transaction, it's not going to do a half on there. But that's a great idea for a future enhancement. Any other questions on the sales volume here? Okay, all right, so we're going to keep moving here. So the next thing we're going to talk about is team commission plans. So what team commission plans are is a way of keeping track of not just an individual agent's bucket for their next tier on a capped plan, but it actually will combine all of a certain team members into one giant bucket. So basically you can create a team in the system, you can track those team commissions. Once you set up the team and assign a quota, you can now apply a sliding scale commission structure. The sliding scale option can now track by the whole team. And then that way when a team member closes a deal, it can be attributed to that team quota. Now, what that all means is the first step is to set up a team, right? So you'd come into your field section, you'd go onto teams, and you can see I've already created 4 teams here, but if we needed another, we would just click on Add Team, give it a name, and now we have a new team on here. Now, once a team's been created, we need to know which agents belong to that specific team. So the way that would look is you would go into your users section, click on the members that need to join the team, hit edit, and assign them to the correct team. Now, what does this actually mean for commission plans? What this means is that when we go into a plan, let's say I made a plan on here called Team Delta. Now, we have scales. So if I click on our split here, you can see that we have sliding scales. Some people call them tiered plans, some people call them cap plans. There's a whole bunch of different names. But as you can see, these plans cap at 15,000. Once they're above 15,000, they jump up to 80%. Once they're above 30,000, they jump up to 90% for everything over 30,000 of company dollar contribution. Now, if we don't want this just to be tracked by an individual agent, but we want all team members' company dollar contributions to go towards this bucket, and they'll all kind of like be lifted as a group, then we change the accrued by from agent to agent's team. Now, anytime any team member of, Team Delta or Team Charlie or whichever team members are assigned this plan, whenever they have a closed transaction and they make a company dollar contribution, all team members' company dollar contributions will go towards this bucket. All you have to do is hit save and then apply this commission plan to any users who are going to be needing it. The way that part looks is you just go into your users, click on the users who you put onto Team Delta and assign them that Team Delta plan. So now going forward, both those team members have the team delta, and their company dollar contributions will jointly go towards this $15,000 bucket. Now you can do this, of course, on individual deductions as well, accrued by teams. It's just usually used for splits, so that's what I used as our demonstration today. So this one is probably one of our more simple changes here. Any questions on what the team commission plans does?
All right. Well, thanks for that, Taylor. Let's go ahead and keep going then.
All right, and just one little bonus thing for everybody. If you do set up teams, do keep in mind that you can filter by teams in some of our reports. So if you wanted to, for example, see like all listings by a specific team, you could go to your listings report and filter listings just by specific teams. So unrelated to commission tracking, but it does make your reports a little bit easier to navigate as well. Cool, so let's move on to prorated agent. When creating a team, can we set up a split among agents? I'm not sure I follow the question, Isabel. When creating a team, can we set up a split amongst agents? So when you create a team, teams and splits are totally different. So you can set up a team and assign your team, any agents to that team. You then would create a commission plan where, yes, you build those splits for the team members. Okay, cool. Cool, so let's talk about prorated agent deductions. Now this is a really cool one, and it relates to teams actually. So if you have, whether they're team members or just two agents that happen to be co-listing a property, oftentimes you'll have fees that have to be paid on your commission plans. But those fees, maybe they get split between both the agents that are on that particular transaction. So for this team delta plan, for example, we have a 5% commission basis fee for that's being paid to the franchise. But if you have two agents on a deal, maybe they split it, 50-50, 60-40, whatever it is. Well, to make that happen automatically, you don't need two different commission plans. All you have to do is click on the deduction. And then when down here, it's going to say prorated according to. By default, it's always going to say none. So all you need to do to get this to prorate based off of the award allocation is hit the drop down, choose award allocation, and now whenever this commission plan is used, that fee will be split between those 2 or 3 or 4, however many agents you've added to the deal according to that award allocation number we were using earlier for sales volume. So once again, to see what that would look like, if we click on our commission plan here, and we have 2 team members, and we give them this new Team Delta plan. Oh, sorry, used the wrong agent there. Let's add Danny Demo. Team Delta, let's give them 50-50 here. We hit save. So now what happened automatically is they're both paying half of that 5% deduction because we had it based off of that, off of their award allocation. You can click on the franchise fee. We can see it says they're both paying 5%, but it's prorated based off of award allocation, so they're actually both paying 2.5%. Do we have any questions on that? There's a breakdown on the disbursement. Yeah, I mean, it'll, are you referring to the CDA? Or are you referring to the commission statement there? Zach, and that was to Zach, by the way, in case anyone's not seen it. Zach asked, does it break down on the disbursement? It'll break down on the disbursement, whatever the amounts are. So if you have that money going to an outside contact. So for example, if we had this going to, let's just say it was going to Adam Savage here. On the disbursement, if you select itemized, it will break that out. So you can see that multiple payments are going to Adam Savage for a total of $75. This, of course, depends on how you do your CDAs. I mean, if you do it consolidated, it's not going to break it down. But yes, as long as you do an itemized one, it'll show you all payments due to everybody.
Does that answer your question, Zach?
So yeah, it's not going to show the 75 broken down because on a CDA, it's just showing what checks they're supposed to be getting. Since they're both going to Adam, it would be a total of $75. So he's going to get one check for $75. If you want to see it broken down, that would be more of an agent statement thing. And then this will actually show you what that individual agent paid to Adam Savage or whoever it is that deduction's going to. But we're talking about two different things here because a CDA is just going to the title company saying what checks need to be written. And then if you have the 75 dollars going to two different people, so like if Taylor's paying the franchise fee to Adam Savage, but Danny Demo is actually paying it to, let's just pull up another contact, Anakin Skywalker. Now when you do the CDA, it will show it broken down because different people are receiving the different amounts. Does that answer your question, Zach? But we have to have it broken down, so I just created a new fee. Okay, yeah, I mean, you could do it that way if your title company requires you to have it broken out. Yeah, you could just create, like, you could even just do two different contacts, but with like maybe give one of them a middle initial or something like that. That would be another option. Most title companies, though, they don't require that because they just write one check to per payee. But if yours is like that, yeah, you could either do two different contacts or two different, or the way that you've been doing it. Cool. So if there's no other questions on the prorated of deductions, let's move on to minimum and maximum for deductions. So, some brokerages, every brokerage is a little bit differently. And so what we're doing is we're extending ways of tracking deductions by setting limits to cap deductions. So from now on, when you deduct money from your agents, the minimum and maximum functionality will allow you to manage deductions by establishing those caps right within a single deduction. So what all that means is, let's say you have let's use the same franchise fee. And it's supposed to be 5% of commission basis, but maybe your brokerage has a rule where it's 5% of commission basis, but the agent will never pay less than $100. So it's $100 or 5%, whichever is greater. So what you would do is you just put not less than $100. So now the agent would be, once again, paying that 5% or $100 if the 5% was going to be less than that. Now, of course, you can set maximums as well. So if you want it to be, 5%, but not less than 100, but also not more than $600, well, you can do that as well. It'll make that fee somewhere in the middle of those two. If you just need a cap instead of a limit, you can do that as well. You can do this as as much as you like, just, not less than or not more than or both of them. And the nice thing is this doesn't just work on deductions, it also works on splits. I have run into some brokerages lately where they have, the agents getting, 70-40, but they're not getting less than $1,000. You can definitely, or 70, I don't know why I said 70-40, 70-30, but the agent cannot make less than, $500 or something. You can do that as well. You just put, 70, 80, 90, but not less than $500 to the agent. And so that one, it's another one, it's pretty basic. Any questions on that one at all before we move on to our different sliding scale timeframes?
All right, well, let's go ahead and see what you got next for us.
Sure. So let's talk about sliding scales. So we've always had sliding scales, tiered plans, cap plans, whatever you want to be called. But what we've done is we've developed new ways to calculate these. So now you can calculate commissions by month of acceptance date, which creates a process to track deals that are under contract. We also added a month to date option, which allows you to track how many deals you closed this month. The system will automatically reset the counter at the end of each month. So it's great for brokerages that have month-to-month plans instead of year-to-date or anniversary date. The way that would look is you would bring up your normal split like always. You would choose what the sliding scale is based off of. You would choose who it's accrued by. Is it an agent or is it the agent's team? And then you would add in the over the period. This is where the difference is. So if you want this to track just closed transactions within the month, great. You would just do over the period, month to date, and hit save. Now those tiers would reset at the end, or I guess technically at the beginning of every month. If you want it to be based off of the acceptance date, we've had a couple brokerages doing that lately. Well, you can now do that as well. You would just change the period of time to be month of acceptance date, hit save, and now it'll keep track of all of those deals that have an acceptance date that was inside of that month that you're currently in. In this case, it'd be May. So a great way of keeping track of things, not based off of closing, but when they're actually brought under contract. Any questions at all about that? Those are our two new time frames or over the period dates for sliding scales. Okay. All right. So let's move into our last one here then. It's our commission statements. And now you can save those to unsorted. So, everyone uses reporting, and what we've tried to do is make it better. So with commission statements, you can, of course, display the commission statement. You can still do all the same things that you were doing before, like downloading and emailing. But now you can also save it to unsorted, which allows the file to be saved into the system so that you can take further action on it, getting it, e-signed, attach it to your checklist, emailing it, whatever you need to do with that CDA, or if you're just looking to store a copy of it for your archive. The way to do that is you go into your transaction like normal. You would click on the agent's name and then click statement. You can type in any extra notes that you need in here. Hit generate, and now you have your agent statement. Now before, all you could do was either download it or email it. Now you can also hit this Save to Unsorted button. What this does is it saves this CDA document as a PDF inside of this unsorted section of the transaction. So it's right here for us. And from here, we can now, either assign it to a checklist. If we have a checklist item for it, we can just leave it in unsorted so that the agent can view it. We can also, of course, email it, download it, or send it out for e-sign if any of that is needed. So it's a small feature, but it is really cool. We had a lot of people requesting it. You can do it with the CDA, of course, as well, but it's brand new to the agent statement part. So those are the 5 major changes that we made over the course of April. We're really excited about the prorating of sales volume. We know we had a ton of people requesting that. The team commission plans is great as well. And then prorating agent deductions is, a great like cherry on top in terms of making it easier instead of having to create a whole bunch of commission plans that will hopefully simplify your plans a little bit. Do we have any questions on anything that we've talked about today that we could answer?
All right.
All right.
Well, if there's nothing for us now, we'll go ahead and stick around for a couple more minutes as you guys start to clear out. Maybe someone might think of something in the meantime, and we'll be sure to answer it then. But if you guys don't have anything else for us, we don't really have anything else for you guys. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us here for this. And again, if after this session is over, you have any additional questions or anything, please feel free to reach out, use our online chat, use our video guides, or just give us some general feedback about how things went today.
And then Zach, to answer your question there, we're going to be editing the recording a little bit, and then we're going to be putting it on our support site. So it'll be publicly accessible to everybody here in the next few business days. Not a problem.
All right. Well, you guys take care. Have a great day.
And like you said, we're going to leave the appointment open here for a couple minutes just to make sure there's no outstanding questions.
I do got one for you, Taylor. We pay recruiting manager for 3 years of anniversary date of new hire. Can this be done by agent's anniversary date selection?
Well,
or a general commission question.
Yeah, that's. I would have to kind of know a little. We're excited that you feel that way, Leora. Thank you very much. But back to you, Carrie. So can this be done by agent's anniversary? So that one's tough because, I mean, you can pay people. We can pay recruiting manager for 3 years of anniversary date of new hire. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure what you're asking, Carrie. We can pay recruiting manager for 3 years of anniversary date of new hire. So do they get, are you saying that they get a chunk of all of their agents, all the agents that they recruited, they get a chunk of their deals for 3 years after the agent's been hired? Okay. Yeah. So what you could do, okay. Yeah. So, once again, in case anyone's paying attention but they can't actually view the questions, we're just talking about trying to pay somebody. A recruiter brings in agents, they then get a chunk of all of those agents that they brought in's deals for 3 years, and it's on a kind of a staggered scale. So the anniversary date's going to reset every year, but what you could do is you could add a deduction onto all of those agents' deals, and it would just say, you could do 5% of gross commission as a pre-split deduction. I'm actually going to bring up a screen here so I can actually show you what I think this would look like. So if you had a, let's just say a new plan, agent plan, and you needed them to pay 5% or 3% or whatever it is of their deal, you could add a pre-split deduction, because I'm assuming this is coming off the top. If it's not, you could do a post-split deduction. But you could do 5% for the first year, or you could call it, let's just say you call it the recruiting fee, but you spell it better than I did. There we go, recruiting fee. And it's off of gross commission, so that'd be what we call commission basis. And you could do 5%, and then you could put in the name of the recruiter. Let's say the recruiter's name was Andrew, and hit add. Now, there's not going to be any way of automatically having this drop on a year-to-year basis. You could have it sliding scale based off of amount. So like once they've paid in $5,000, it drops to 3, but there's not really going to be a way of making it drop automatically. You would just need to know that at that agent's anniversary to go in and update it to 3%, and then on their second anniversary, go in and change it to 2 or 1% or whatever the correct amount is. But yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a cool way of making them drop based off of year like that. But to answer your question, I mean, yes, you can do it since last anniversary. It's just not going to drop to anything at the end of every year is the short answer to your question there. Did that answer your question, Carrie?
All right. Well, I still see that we have about half of our attendees left. Does anyone have anything else?
So somewhat, can I use anniversary year and change its year percentage? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you could do, and once again, just if anyone's still listening, we're still talking about the trying to pay the recruiter. But yeah, so what you would do is you would base it off since last anniversary date. Actually, you don't need to do a sliding scale at all for this. Really, that's kind of the thing is you don't really need to do a sliding scale on this because I mean you can, but it's not going to keep lowering every year. So there's almost like no point in doing it this way. Because you can add tiers all you want, but they have to be based off of an amount that's put in or like how many transactions have closed or something. There's no way of just saying, hey, every year lower this percentage, though I do like the idea because as we're talking about it, I'm kind of thinking of more and more use cases for it. But so really, I think the best thing that you could do is just put in a recruiting fee for 5% of commission basis and then go into their deals or go into their commission plan on their anniversary date and just update it to 3%. And then on their next anniversary date, update it to 1% at the correct times. When you are on both the buyer and the seller side of the deal, does the program still double the volume number? I don't believe that was affected at all. Yeah, so I mean, in our system, and you know, for a lot of our brokerages, when a agent is on both sides of a deal, they get both sides, or they get they get the sales volume on both sides because they consider it 2 transactions. So I mean, I think what you could do in that scenario then is if you don't want that to happen, you could go into the agent's profile or into their deal here, hit their award allocation and give them just 50% of the sales volume on each side, and that would equal your 100% that you're, or the just the sales price sales volume that you're looking for, Tom. Yeah, so Carrie, yeah, so you don't, yeah, you can, that's what I'm saying is you can add that deduction to the commission plan. You could call it whatever you want to be called, and now every single deal, they'll have 5% of their gross commission taken out and paid to whoever that recruiter is. The only part that would need to be manual now is that once a year you would need to go into the agent's commission plan and update the fee from being 5% to 3%. And the nice thing is we have a report that can even show you when that type of stuff is happening, I believe. Oh, that's licensed. Oh yeah, here you go. So on the agent profile, you could see when the anniversary date is for all of your agents. So you would know, oh, okay, on April 13th, I need to go into Agent Frank and update him from 5% to 3%. And Tom, did that answer your question about sales volume? On the CDA, it would only show up if you used an itemized CDA. But if you're talking about the agent's statement, it would show up on the statement because it's a deduction from their money. Yeah, so you actually can. That's a fantastic question, Jennifer. So we didn't talk about it today, but it's a feature that we've had in Brokermint for a while. It's called tags. So like, let's say you wanted to see, how much money do we pay via the franchise fee? All you have to do is add a tag for that franchise fee inside of the transaction, or I mean, not inside the transaction, inside of their commission plan. That way it happens automatically. And then you actually have a report called payments reports where it keeps track of all those tags, and it'll actually tell you, like, let's say the mentor one, for example, 11 people have paid it, 11 people have received it on 11 transactions for this amount total. And then if you want to see details about who's paid it and who's received it and all that, you just click on the payers or payees number. It'll actually show you, okay, Taylor Reef has paid into this 11 times for a total of $13,340. Obi-Wan Kenobi has received this on 11 transactions for a total of $13,340. And you can, of course, use the filters. So if you just want to see, just transactions closed year to date or whatever it is, you can do that as well. Yeah, and tags are a very powerful function that you can use in Brokermint. They can be added to any deduction that you like. And that's true on post-split deductions, pre-split deductions, pre-commission, post-commission. Any deduction tags can be added to. We always, of course, suggest adding them inside of the commission plans themselves. That way they happen automatically. But you can also add them on a per transaction basis. And then Isabel just asked, how do you get to the tag section? So to get to the tags, all you have to do is click on the deduction you want to add a tag to, and it says add a tag right beneath the name there. You just click add a tag and type in whatever you're looking for. As you can tell, you can create a tag with any name that you like, and then once you've created it once, you can just add it to anything else that needs to be added to. So if we made a marketing tag for the royalty fee, we could go into anything else and add that same tag onto there. Sorry. So Isabel was actually asking, how do you view the report? So it's in the reports section. It's called the payments reports. And we have it right here for you. It'll show you all the transactions that meet the filters in the upper right. And then you can also click on these numbers to see more details. So if you want to see who the 11 people were that paid, just click on the 11. And I don't know if it talks about the report at all, but we do have a little instructional thing on how to set up tags on our support site. Just type in the word tags, and we have a little, looks like maybe 2 or 3 minute video on it. Not a problem, Isabel. Cool. Any other questions by anybody on anything that we talked about today? Cool. So we're about 45 minutes in, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. We really do appreciate everyone attending. And Tom, Jurgen, Carrie, there were some other people in here that asked some great questions. Lisa, Jennifer, Isabel, thank you all very much for asking your questions. You guys all had some great ones, and hopefully we were able to answer them satisfactorily for you. If not, please feel free to reach out to us. We're going to go ahead and stop the meeting and stop the recording. We're going to get this edited up a little bit just to make it a little cleaner, and then we'll release it on our public website, on our support website. Is there anything else that you needed to add, Frisco?
No, just thank you for walking us through everything,
Great.
Taylor. Really appreciate it. Again, appreciate all the current clients and prospective clients that joined us here today. I think we peaked out at about 65 people,
Great.
and that is a great turnout. So, again, thank you all.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.